Mondi, what's up, man?
Julian, what's
We're
up? How's it
back.
going?
It's good, man. We're
You
back.
sure
We're
are.
back. It's been a little while since we did a news, reviews, updates, tidbits, titties. I mean, all that stuff that we got to do. And
Right.
there's a lot of things to discuss. There's a lot of fucking things to fucking discuss.
It
Some
is, man.
things, like my new favorite meme is the fucking Gohan meme. That's just so funny to me because it just accurately describes like my thoughts and feelings like so many times. So let's get into it, man.
What's the
There's a lot.
Gohan? What's the Gohan meme?
Okay. This is the great Saiyaman Gohan meme where he's just like angry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for the love and support. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a freaking comment. I'm sick of you. Every time I check the videos, there's no comments. Somebody leave a goddamn comment, okay? Thank you. Mondi, let's get into it.
Do we have one comment on any of our videos?
I left one comment. I left
Yeah,
one
fuck y'all.
comment. Yeah, fuck you.
Anyway.
No.
Let's talk about some stuff in development. Black Mirror season 7 is in development at Netflix. I'm a big Black Mirror fan. I know you aren't. This last season was a little lukewarm, but always excited for new Black Mirror stories.
Mm-hmm.
The Boys has a new spinoff. The
Uh-oh.
Boys Mexico in the works from the writer of Blue Beetle.
No, let me stop. That's crazy. The
It
Boys
hasn't been
Mexico.
5 minutes. Can you not be racist? It hasn't even been 5 minutes.
You're right. Sorry.
But I want to be home right now.
Pedro Pascal will star as the lead in this Mexico series. You know what? I'm happy for The Boys because even though it's not necessarily my favorite thing, I love when shows like this come out of nowhere, take the world by surprise, and it's by a creator that I love and respect in Seth Rogen, and I'm like really happy for this because if this succeeds,
He's the creator, he's the producer.
if this succeeds, then I'm sure that there'll be other spinoffs. And the best idea spinoff that I saw was The Boys in the Hood, and I want it. So
we had a sneak peek of that in season 3, but you didn't watch season 3. But yeah, The Boys Mexico. I mean, I enjoyed the Gen V spinoff as a big, huge Boys fan. I don't know if I want this, to be honest.
You're gonna
Boys
watch
Mexico, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. But I don't want them to get stuck in spinoff hell and it becomes like a Game of Thrones situation where it's 8 things in production. But I can't say Gen V was worth it. So who knows? Maybe it'll be good. There's a new Jason Bourne movie also in development. Matt Damon is expected to be approached to return. So no confirmation of his return, but he'll be approached to return. As in the Bourne movies, what are your thoughts?
This is so interesting because they did this already. Like they did this 10 years ago with Jason Bourne.
It was Jeremy Renner, though, right?
No, that was the Bourne Legacy, I believe, that Jason Renner did in 2011, right before Avengers came out. And we were just like, who the fuck is this guy? But honestly, that movie is not bad. It's definitely not good, but it's not bad. And then, 2014 or 15, somewhere around there, they did Matt Damon Returns as Jason Bourne in Jason Bourne. And I didn't want to see it then. I still have not seen it. I've heard nothing but mediocre to mixed reviews about it. So do I want to see it 20 years later? I don't think so. I'm good on the Jason Bourne series. I think the original trilogy that they had was awesome, but I don't want to see anymore. That's just my opinion.
Alrighty. As someone who's never seen any of the Bourne movies, I definitely do plan to. I have no thoughts on this, to be honest. There's a live action Naruto movie in the works at Lionsgate. Has One Piece opened the door that can never be closed?
It has. We'll see. Unfortunately, it has. I mean, look, One Piece was viewed so much on Netflix, in literally every country around the world that fucking has it. It was number one for a long time, and honestly, I liked it for what it was. I don't think it was good or perfect by any means, but I think that it is absolutely worth the watch, and I think that this is the best anime adaptation that we have. So if they can do anything close to that on the big screen for Naruto, I mean, I don't believe that they can, but I'm here for it, man.
I'm waiting for you to say I'll be there.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay, guys.
Opening fucking night.
I'm gonna be there opening fucking night. Okay, like wait a minute, like. Yeah, I'm gonna be there opening fucking night, okay? But am I like excited for this? I am. But do I think it's going to be good? Do I think it's going to be good? No, I don't. But I'm excited for sure.
That's fair. And I love the One Piece series. I mean, I think I enjoyed it more than you. Maybe that's because I have zero context. I just went into.
You mean the One Piece live action series?
The live action series.
Let's fucking make that fucking distinction.
Sorry. So this Naruto. I've never watched Naruto either. And so I'll be going into this. I feel like I know so much about it just from everybody else around me. But I'm excited about this news though. Hopefully they can give it some justice. This came out of nowhere. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio will reprise their roles together for the new Karate Kid movie. It's coming in theaters December 13th of next year. But they're doing like a huge casting call for this new kid, which is these niggas hadn't even casted the main role, but it comes out in December of next year. What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy to me.
There's no way that this movie's coming out in December of next year. No, like it's not possible for that to happen. Even if there's like no CGI and they do everything practical, there's literally no way that they can shoot a feature film like this.
Like you need stunt choreo and all that. Like
yeah. I mean,
nigga, it took my 27 minutes a year. I mean, I had a shitty editor and director, but it took my movie a year to get made. It was 27 minutes.
Okay, well, there you have it, people. So, but look, man, this is just interesting to me. Like Jackie Chan makes his main stage return to the American audience in Karate Kid, something that's beloved by America. A lot of people hold the 1984 version as a cult classic. Me personally, I never saw it when I was a kid, so I personally don't. But I will say the Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan movie, I do hold as a fucking classic, and I don't care what nobody fucking says. And the show that they have on Netflix, Cobra Kai, that shit is awesome. That shit is actually really awesome. I've seen all of season 1, and I never remember to like keep watching the show, but like I really enjoy it. So I honestly feel like we have Cobra Kai to thank for this, because Cobra Kai is like so popular on Netflix. I think it's gotten like 5 seasons plus a spinoff. So we're getting Jackie Chan back. I'm not sure about this whole same universe shit. Like, how did they just decide that? But whatever.
No sense. Because wasn't he Mr. Miyagi in the Jaden Smith version? Like, was his name Miyagi or no?
No, his name was Mr. Han.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, then that makes. I'm thinking his name was Mr. Miyagi in the Jaden Smith version, so that actually makes sense now. So okay, cool, whatever. Will there be a Jaden Smith? Will there be a Jaden Smith cameo?
Oh, he's 100%. Right? He's 100% going to have a cameo. Okay, 100%. Like it's going to be the most ridiculous shit. Just like him smiling like this.
And I'm gonna go crazy in the theater. Like oh my god! No way, home portal scene crazy.
Did you see fucking Jaden Smith? Oh my god.
Anyway,
Harold also needs to return. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Harold and Kumar 4 is also going to happen.
Interesting.
Did you watch the Harold and Kumar movies?
I watched the first one a few times. I actually really enjoyed the first one. I think it's very funny, even though the premise is just ridiculous. I watched the first one once. I mean, sorry, the sequel once. And I was like, I'm not doing this to myself anymore. Maybe this will be different, though, because honestly, and I feel like Good Burger 2 has kind of gotten me in like this mood, even though I have not seen that yet. I actually plan on watching it now because I've heard like good things about it. Not that it's like a good movie, but I've heard that like it's really fun. It's really funny. There's a lot of cameos in it. So I'm like, you know what? I mean, okay, that's enough for me to watch it. So I feel like this is kind of in that same vein. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing good things about Good Burger 2 actually as well, but I will not be watching that. Creed 4 is in the works with Michael B. Jordan returning to direct.
Interesting.
What are your thoughts?
I thought he did good in his directorial debut earlier this year in Creed 3.
I agree.
But maybe that was because he had Jonathan Majors to work with. And I think it was a great choice as a director to let Jonathan Majors shine as much as he did in that movie. So we'll see what happens with.
You think he let him shine?
100%. Yeah, he's a director. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, or you can get eaten up. Okay. You got ate up, but okay.
I forgot this nigga minded anything about Jonathan Majors. Jesus Christ. You're nuts. But yeah, anyway, we'll see what happens in part 4 and who he decides to work with, who he's going to star opposite. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested in this. I mean, like, I hadn't seen any of the Creed movies prior to Creed 3. I saw Creed 3 in theaters and I watched it again when it streamed. It's still a really good film, man. Like it's really good. So I'm excited for Creed 4.
After enjoying Creed 3, you have no interest in watching Creed 1 and Creed 2?
It's not that I don't have any interest. This is not how my list of things that I need to watch when I have 2 hours to myself.
Okay, that's fair.
Unfortunately.
My only issue, I mean, not my concern, I guess, because I really enjoy Creed 1, 2, and 3. I really enjoy all of them. I do think there's diminishing returns on all of them, even though I enjoy all of them. So the formula is very formulating in these movies.
Sure.
Bad guy, personal connection, beats him the first time, overcomes it. Granted, I love all the movies. I fear that number 4 will be a little bit too redundant, and I mean, maybe he can lose at the end. I would really appreciate that or something. But they got to change it up. But I am looking forward to a Creed 4, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
And last thing in the works is The Blackening 2 is in the works. I think me and you both enjoyed The Blackening 1 enough. That came out this summer. We thought it was a fun time at the theater. What are your thoughts?
Interesting, man. This is very interesting. This is a movie that when I saw the previews for it the first time, I had really high hopes, and unfortunately, the movie didn't meet my hopes. But it was still a really fun time, like you said. I still actually enjoyed this, and I'm excited for them to get another crack at it. I'm not sure, like narratively, if that makes a lot of sense because like.
New cast, maybe, but then again, some cast members were saying no, part 2, so indicating that they're going to be in it again. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. I'll be there opening night, bitch.
Same. Yeah, I enjoyed The Blackening Part 1 for what it was, and hopefully, like you said, Part 2 can just nail that formula. It was so close to nailing the formula, but it didn't. And I don't want Tim Story returning to direct, even though he's the reason why Part 1 was as successful as it was. I would love for a new director, like a new younger director, to take a crack at it. The Exorcist Believer, guys, is coming to Peacock. It'll be here when this pod releases on Friday. So for all those who missed the new Exorcist movie in theaters, it will be streaming on Peacock.
Awesome. That was me. I missed it in theaters, so I will be watching it on Peacock.
Coolio. Let's talk some DC and Marvel news. Big news in regards to the new Superman Legacy movie directed by James Gunn. Brainiac is confirmed to be the main villain of Superman Legacy. What are your thoughts on Brainiac?
I feel like Brainiac is such like an overused villain in Superman lore, especially in comics and like animation, that I'm honestly kind of sick of Brainiac. Like I'm kind of sick of like the whole Brainiac storyline. But I'm sure that it can be done really well live action. And guys, first of all, fucking ball. I want y'all to understand. When I say I'll be there opening night, bitch,
before opening night, outside,
like 2 months in advance, like advanced tickets, like IMAX, like I'm gonna Superman, bitch, I'm gonna be there, okay. But yeah, like this Brainiac news didn't necessarily thrill me. But hey, neither did the fucking General Zod news fill me about Man of Steel. And I have like a collector's ticket for that film. I was so excited for that. So yeah, this doesn't matter to me, but I am a little drained of the Brainiac storyline because to me, that's like so formulaic too, in my opinion. At least every time I've seen it done. So even in video games, like they've done the Brainiac storyline. I'm just like, God damn it, Brainiac, leave these niggas alone, bro. Like, leave them alone, please. But what do you think? I'm curious.
I am thrilled only because I totally get what you're saying. Brainiac is used a lot in games and animated shows, but we've never seen him live action, at least we haven't on the big screen. And so that gives James Gunn the opportunity to really play with this and make it a special first time entry. And I'm just always excited to see Superman fight villains that he can actually have some physicality toe to toe with. Don't get me wrong, we all love Lex, obviously, but it's something about like you said, that the Zods of the world and the Brainiacs, the Dark Sides, where he can just actually throw a punch at a nigga and he can get punched back. I just love that for Superman because he's just so OP, and his villains are really OP as well. So I'm just curious, if not Brainiac, which Superman in his rogues would you want to see in a Superman movie live action?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm never like good at stuff like this.
Okay.
Like niggas be like, I want to see Toyman. Like, no, I don't want to fucking see fucking Toyman either. Okay, but I don't want to see. I was just gonna say like I don't want to see Mr. Michael. I don't want to see that nigga. Okay.
It's so funny because niggas. He's so like he's like so much more powerful than Superman. It's so funny. He just plays with the nigga. He's like he's so much more powerful than Superman.
Yeah. I don't know if that would be like fun for like a 2-hour feature film though.
It wouldn't. It just be him going.
Yeah. No thanks.
Okay. I think Parasite would be cool. I think I'm trying to think of some other. I don't want to see fucking Bizarro. That's just too goofy. But that's really up James Gunn's alley. I was expecting a Bizarro type villain for this movie. I mean, and also big. Oh, sorry.
Real quick. Isn't the villain that they did for Guardians 3 a little similar to Brainiac in that he's trying to assimilate different species and he's trying to conquer and all that type of shit. So yeah. We'll see.
Nicholas Holt casted as Lex Luthor. He was in the running for a long time. It was him up against like I believe the Skarsgård brothers. He won it out. People were saying this is his revenge for not getting the Robert Pattinson Batman role, which I'm so glad he didn't get. But what are your thoughts on Nicholas Holt landing Lex Luthor?
This is interesting. Again, I'm gonna recall back to a conversation I had with you about Heath Ledger all the way back in 2007 or 6 when he got cast as the Joker. I was so upset. I was like, what the fuck are we doing with the Joker? This is my favorite character. And he fucking killed it. So I'm trying hard to like not overreact to any of these casting news because clearly I just have no foresight when it comes to what things can be for these actors and these characters. So I'm sure Nicholas Holt's going to fucking kill it. I hope that he's given time because if we're doing Brainiac and Lex Luthor, I'm not sure how much Lex we're going to get. But maybe this will just be a setup for like a future thing. Like I'm sure Lex is going to be the guy pulling all the strings and all that. So I'm excited for Nicholas Holt. I think he is talented. That Renfield movie be damned, but he can definitely do this. So I'm excited for him.
I agree. I think Nicholas Holt is talented. I don't see it as Lex right now. I mean, I can see him pulling it off, but not in like okay, he's my Lex Luthor type shit. I've always just personally wanted, I've stated this on the pod before, someone with real like gravitas to be Lex Luthor. Like I want like a Bryan Cranston type. I think he would. I mean, he probably might be too old now, but somebody like that caliber of actor just to really be like that stern Lex, not the coy Lex that we see sometimes in animation. But that's just my personal sensibilities. And last thing regarding the Superman thing, have you seen David Corenswet? This nigga has gotten so fucking big. I love the dedication. I love it. But he's like almost reaching Henry Cavill level. Like Jesus Christ,
get bigger, nigga. Get as big as you can. Like he needs to look like fucking. He needs to look like fucking Brock Lesnar by the time he's done. Like I don't give a fuck. Like be nasty looking. I love it. Take steroids, do it. Let's go.
I like I said, this nigga just eating beef and potatoes every day. You can tell. But what kind of Superman aesthetic do you like? And this might be too nerdy of your question. Like, do you like the bulky Superman, or you like the lean when he's just so like he's so powerful? It doesn't even matter. He's skinny as fuck. It doesn't even matter.
No, Henry Cavill's like I want him to look like a god amongst men. Like no disrespect to 2006 Superman Returns, Brandon Routh Superman, where he was a lot slimmer. He didn't necessarily have that huge physique. It didn't bother me. It's just that like I have a preference for like the big hulking Superman. So I loved that Henry Cavill really committed to it, and it looks like this guy is too. So let's do it.
Yeah, I think a balance is good for me. Like I like the big bulkiness, but I also like the idea of a slimmer Superman as well. Because Superman doesn't need to be like the biggest dude in the world because it doesn't fucking matter, you know. Anyway, Anya Taylor-Joy is rumored to be casted as Silver Surfer in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. This is big, strong rumors now. For those who don't know, Silver Surfer is canonically a man in all of his runs since his introduction. What do you think about this? What do you think?
I hope it's not true. I hope that this is just some made up Twitter shit that we're discussing right now. And give me a man. I want a man. I want a man playing Silver Surfer. That's what I want. But watch, Anya Taylor-Joy is going to deliver a performance that we've never seen before because Silver Surfer is so interesting. She's from a planet where they're about to die, and she is going to save the world from Galactus, and he's a planet eater. Brother, that shit out of here.
Only reason to think as to why they might be doing something like this is because the Silver Surfer done in 2006's Rise of the Silver Surfer was done so well and holds up. I think that it would look very similar to that Silver Surfer, and this is their trying to way to try to differentiate it. But me, I'm a huge Silver Surfer fan. Like I literally am.
You are.
And this pisses me off. I mean, it's just not what it's not what I envision in Silver Surfer. No disrespect to Anya Taylor-Joy. I have no hate. I'm not a woman hater at all. I support women, but this just doesn't make any sense to me, and I hate this kind of shit. Sam Raimi is reportedly a top choice for Marvel Studios to direct both Avengers films coming. The Kang Dynasty film, if Kang still is a thing, and Secret Wars. What are your thoughts on Raimi coming into the MCU? Well, he's already been in the MCU, but taking over the Avengers films.
Somebody has to do it. Why not? Sure. Let's let Sam Raimi take the helm. I mean, it's not like he's a stranger to these superhero films. It's not like he's a stranger to dealing with an ensemble or mixed, or, multiple personalities. Let's give him a shot. I mean, we had the Russo brothers do Infinity War and Endgame, and I think it worked out perfectly. So let's have that same continuity, and let's let them do Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty as well. So I'm going to try to be optimistic if this is in fact true. And I'm going to say that Sam Raimi is going to do a great job. What do you think?
I love Raimi. I wasn't a fan of the Multiverse of Madness. I don't really blame Raimi. I'm more so blame just the writing of that story. But I personally, I don't understand why they don't give Ryan Coogler a chance to do this kind of shit. Like, he's proven twice now that he can make great films, like not even just good Marvel movies, like just great films. I mean, I don't understand why Ryan Coogler hasn't been given the keys, or maybe they offered him and he said no, he wants to do his own thing. But I just think Coogler would be the top choice, if not the Russo brothers. So, but yeah, Raimi, let's see how he does. You get one more chance, Raimi, in the MCU, because yeah. Let's talk some Star Wars news. Dave Filoni has been promoted to Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm. He will work directly alongside Kathleen Kennedy to oversee all the new Star Wars projects going forward. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I know this makes you happy. I mean, this is kind of what you wanted. You wanted Kathleen Kennedy to step back in terms of, her power. It sounds like she's giving the keys to Dave Filoni. I mean, this is what happens when you make 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, and it's one of the most streamed things ever on Disney Plus. You create a new character in Grogu that most people love to death. And I mean, him and Jon Favreau both deserve a lot of credit for that. So I think that this is a good thing. I mean, I'm not sure what negative there could be unless he just goes crazy and he's like, we're not done with the start. If he's the one that's like, we're not done with the Skywalker saga, then I'm going to have a problem because I'm sick of that shit. But other than that, I'm sure that this is only going to be a positive thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I love Filoni's ideas. I love his idea that he brings to Star Wars. I think he's still working with the kinks when it comes to, because he's so talented in the animation space. I feel with the Ahsoka series, I could still feel him operating in like an animation space at times. And so I'm just maybe in this position, he can just be the idea guy. I think he has wonderful ideas, so this could be a good thing. Also, he's working on the outline for Ahsoka season 2 as well. Yep. So that's noteworthy as well. Dave Filoni also had something to say about Ray Stevenson and the future of the Baylan Skoll character. His quote was, obviously there is a story there in terms of, will they continue showcasing Baylan Skoll? He says, we're in a wait and see pattern at this point, but I'm glad the conversation is about Ray and how great he was. I used to have many debates with him and say, Ray, you're the villain here. And he'd be like, I don't think so. And I was like, I know you don't think so, but you are. I love that you're playing the character like you're not, but this is exactly, which is not the way Baylan thinks. So the fact that Ray Stevenson was like, nigga, I know you're writing as a villain, but I'm going to interpret it a different way. I think that was just a genius choice, ballsy, but a very genius. I love the way he played Baylan. And so do you want to see Baylan, or do you think his send off in Ahsoka season 1 was kind of warranted?
This is so tough, man, because I thought part of the reason why Baylan Skoll was interesting was because of Ray. I thought his performance was masterful. It's honestly one of the best performances I've seen in a while. So the fact that we're not going to be able to get him back for this series is a little concerning, but I mean, it sounds like they've already made up their mind and they're going to do it. And, the character's ending in Ahsoka season 1 was like, it wasn't even an ending. He kind of just like went off to the sunset. We never saw him again. So it sounds like they left it that way because they were interested in doing something else with this character. So it's unfortunate, but I figured that this was the route that they were going to go. And hey, look, I mean, if it isn't working, then they either won't put it out or it'll be a one and done thing, and we'll forever be like, damn, what could have been. But they're probably going to release this either way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Rey is one of the best Star Wars characters in the Disney era, besides like Mando, Grogu, and Kylo, I guess. And it's sad to see him go. But I think they should not continue his story live action as an honor to Rey. But I would love to see it in animation because the animation stuff is canon in Star Wars. So let's see Baylan's journey in like an animated series, something like that. I totally watch that. Let's talk some trailers. Mark Wahlberg and Simu Liu star in the emotional trailer for Arthur the King, based on a true story. Do you see this trailer? It's been showing a lot in my AMC theaters a lot lately. But what are your thoughts on this true story about a dog and a guy?
Yeah, interesting. Man's best friend, follow him around this race, around this continent, which is insane. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to watch this. You know exactly why. So for all the listeners out there, I don't do anything with dogs and dogs' death and dogs being happy. This is not my thing. So, yeah, I'm not going to watch this. Shout out to Mark Wahlberg and shout out to Simu Lee. I don't care about this. I'm not going to watch it.
The dog dies?
It looked like he was dying in the trailer. I'm not sure if he actually dies in the movie, but...
Oh, just a chance that he might die. You're not going to watch it.
Correct.
You're a fucking bitch. Okay. Dog movies just don't ever do it for me. I'm sorry. I mean...
Air Bud.
I might watch it. That's true. Fucking Air Bud. and Homeward Bound, a fucking great movie as well, but I was a big Sassy fan, Sassy the cat. Dog movies don't typically do it for me because it's such an obvious pull at the heartstrings, and as a cat guy, it's just like whatever. But we'll see.
As a cat guy,
so I guess we do have a trailer for Blumhouse's Imaginary. It's been released. They said they weren't gonna release a trailer, but there's a whole ass trailer out that I tagged you in, and it's coming to theaters March 8th. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
You have to remind me what this trailer was. I don't really remember.
The black woman is babysitting the little white girl, and the white girl has an imaginary friend in this bear, and the bear seems to be like a demon.
Yes. Yeah, this looked terrible. Holy, I mean, both of us have already stated our kind of threshold with these possession films, and I think my threshold goes even lower with like killer dolls. Like I just don't love them. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to skip this, honestly. And, yeah, I mean, shout out to everybody that wants to see this shit. I mean, this film, but I don't want to see this. What do you think?
I'm just confused that we got a trailer because the whole marketing ploy I thought was that we're not going to get a trailer, but we did.
Them niggas realized that marketing ploy was like stupid as fuck. They were like, wait a minute. people are really not going to come see this because they don't know what the fuck they're coming to.
I guess so. Yeah, this trailer didn't do much for me. I might watch it. Who knows? Let's talk some reviews. Did you watch any shows at all? Or finish any shows?
No, I haven't finished anything, but I do have a few movie reviews.
Okay.
Oh wait, I watched. Should we talk Invincible?
Yeah, I have Invincible on here at the end.
Okay.
So I watched two shows. So the first one is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. This is the Scott Pilgrim versus the World anime that's now streaming on Netflix. Guys, we've been trying to get Julian to watch Scott Pilgrim. He says he's going to. We'll see. Anyway, that movie's a cult classic. It's amazing. And as just a fan of that movie, it's really cool to see the entire OG voice cast come back to basically return and voice their characters. Like these are some big names in Hollywood now, like Michael Cera, Aubrey Plaza, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays fucking Hera and Ahsoka, Chris Evans. It's a huge cast, guys, and they all returned, and they're all just so good. Like it really, the first couple episodes of this show captured the exact tone of the movie, which is what audiences were hoping. But I thought for some reason it kind of shifted into something else because the show starts off as like a retelling of the movie. Essentially, I was like, okay, so it's just a movie going to be retold over again. But then it takes a very weird detour, becomes very meta and kind of like referencing the movie, but it comes a whole different story. The further it strayed away from the original movie, I thought it kind of lost some of its pizzazz, in my opinion. And it kind of highlights more so the evil exes, which you have no idea what that is because you haven't seen the movie, and Ramona more so than Scott. Like there's a large chunk of the show when Scott Pilgrim is just simply not in it. that's just a weird creative choice for me. I don't understand why they did that. And I think it's to the show's detriment. But however, the show is still super funny, guys. I had a smile on my face the entire time, just as a fan. And I think fans will ultimately be pleased with this series. Like I said, I just think they did some weird choices regarding Scott missing for a large chunk of it, and them kind of straying very far from the source material. I'll say that. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim takes off. If you're a fan of the movie, check it out. Next review is for Blue Eye Samurai. Did you finish the show, or did you ever?
No, I haven't even started it. I prefer if you can hold this, but who cares? Go ahead, do your thing.
I won't give a single spoiler. I promise. I won't give a single spoiler. I'll just give an overbroad consensus about how I feel about the show. Guys, this show right here is from the writers of Logan and Blade Runner 2049, two movies that I really hold in high regard. Basic plot, which you've seen in the trailer, it's funny because me and Julian laughed at the trailer when it first came out. We thought it was gonna be so ass, and this show ended up being one of the best shows of the year for me by far. This is a time in Japan's lore or history. Lore. This is a time in Japan's history when they've closed their outside borders to the outside world, in particular Europe and white people. And there's this girl who grows up in feudal Japan, and she's half white, half Japanese. And during this time in Japan's history, if you are seen as half white, you are just like a monster, like a demon. And she has these bright blue eyes, which give her up obviously very clear that she's mixed. And so she gets demonized her entire life. Of course, she takes up the way of the samurai, and she wants to get revenge on her father who raped her mother. That's basically the basic plot of the story. There's a lot that you'll get from that once you actually watch the show. The plot is literally the storyline, the animation, and the action are all just so top tier. The animation is so good in this show that like it feels like motion capture a lot of times. Like the way like the people, like the characters emote, how they express themselves, just how they move. It doesn't feel animated at all. It feels like there's actually like motion capture going on because it's just done so fluently and so well. The show does an amazing job of interweaving flashbacks with what's currently going on to either mirror the present or directly counter it. It's just a beautiful use of flashbacks here in the show. And we get to see the character's evolution from episode 1 to episode 8. Because at first she appears very well. I'm not gonna say that. Guys, I recommend this show highly. It's like I said, one of my favorite shows of the year. This is why this kind of show proves why there will always be a space for animation, in my opinion, because it's just some things you just can't do live action, and this show is able to pull it off incredibly well, in my opinion. This is a total surprise for me of the year, and I just really love this show. Next thing is Invincible. We only got 4 episodes, guys. It's going to be 8 episodes in total this season. Season 2 will return next year in 2024. So we can give our brief thoughts just on what we've seen so far and how we feel about the news of season 2 picking up next year. So you can go first.
Man, 4 episodes that we've seen, 4 episodes left. Man, from what I've seen, man, I'm so excited for what's to come. I think my only real complaint so far is that I feel like they've kind of lingered with the depression. This might sound horrible to say, but like with like the depression of Sandra Oh's character. What's the mom's name?
Damn,
Helen?
Sarah?
Helen? Hera?
It's not Sarah. It's not Sarah, is it?
No, that doesn't sound familiar. Whatever.
Okay.
Sandra Oh's character, she's literally been a depressed mess for all 4 episodes. That's getting annoying. I'm glad that I was worried that after episode 1 and 2 that they were going to linger with Invincible's depression of it, but they kind of met it head on when they had the Invincible Omni-Man, meeting, which I thought was done really well. Shout out to Stephen Young, man. He was fantastic in episode 4. Just the emotion that he was trying to portray to his dad, who he feels, who stabbed him in the back essentially and betrayed the entire human race. And now it turns out this nigga got another wife and kid on the side. It's crazy, man. And yeah, like I just want to say, like, for anybody that is on the fence about the show or that has not seen the show, whether it's because it's animation or you're tired of superhero stuff or whatever's holding you back, like, you need to let it go and just stop and watch this, man. This is a really, really great series with great characters that develop and grow, and just a stellar voice cast. It's actually really funny too. Like, there's just a whole bunch of good jokes here. I love the duplicate thing with the nigga that never dies, or Immortal. That shit was hilarious. And Yeah, man. I don't want to give like a whole spiel, but so far what I've seen is very promising. I can't wait to see how they continue this. And I'm super excited, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't think that season 2 coming out next year is warranted at all. I just think that makes zero sense. I understand the mid-season break, sure, but maybe give us a couple weeks for an 8-episode series. I mean, they're just pushing at this point. Are they trying to maintain relevance? Are the shows just not done yet? I'm confused. But to have it come back literally in the new year is insane to me. But like you said, man, this is still a great half season of television. I love, like you said, whether you're in animation or not, you can definitely follow the story and have fun with it. There's a lot of great characters, great action, great growth within characters. I love how this Invincible has so many storylines going on at one time, but it never seems like overwhelming because everything ends up tying up to the main storyline eventually at some point. Even callbacks to things like there's so many like throwaway episodes in season 1, quote unquote, like filler, quote unquote. But you're like, no, it's not filler at all. They bring it back in season 2. It has relevance, and the show just does a good job of keeping up with all those storylines and having just a lot of great characters. I feel like they kind of, after watching the Adam Eve special, which I really enjoy, I know you didn't. They kind of like made her weaker in this season for some reason. I mean, when she's fighting that one dude in episode 4, with the gun arm, Adam Eve, when she was a child, would have destroyed that nigga. Like, I feel like she was struggling with this thing. I don't know. That was just kind of weird to me, but maybe they can't make her too OP. I feel like she's on Mark Grayson's level, honestly, just from a power set standpoint. But I enjoy Invincible. I just wish season 2 would be here a lot sooner, maybe selfishly. So movie reviews. Which movies did you watch? I'm curious.
So I have 2 Christmas movies I watched. One was on streaming, and one was a movie that I hadn't seen in a long time that I forgot I had already seen, but I wanted to talk about it. So I'll start with Almost Christmas. So this is starring Gabrielle Union, Omar Epps,
JB Smoove, Gary Hilson.
Yes. Monique. The whole crew, Monique, DC Young Fly. What's the nigga from Lethal Weapon? Why can't I remember? Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
So this is one of those times where, like, after I watched this first movie, or after I watched this other movie we're going to talk about, this is like under recommended or whatever. And I was like, how have I not seen this? Like, how have I not, like, this is like a great cast. Like, it's a Black Christmas movie. Like, how have I not seen this? And this is essentially just this Christmas redone, but I absolutely love that. I have no problem with it. Like, there's like so many similarities. You know, there's A-Train, who's the youngest one. He's the baby. He's got all the talent, but he has a dark secret. There's the sisters who hate each other. There's the older brother who's successful. There's the patriarch or the matriarch of the family. Like it has very similar things to this Christmas, which didn't bother me at all. Like, I ended up loving this. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, man, this is like a really great time. Like, this is gonna be like in my rotation of fucking Christmas movies. Like, I'm not sure why it never was. I'm not sure why I'd never seen it. But like, I really enjoyed it, man. It was just a really good Black Christmas movie. And it absolutely matters that they're Black. I mean, I'm not sure how else to say it without sounding forward, but it matters that they're Black. It matters that, that they're not fucking drug dealers or thugs. They're just regular people going through regular holiday stuff. And it was a good time, man. Monique destroyed the movie. She was so funny throughout the entire movie. Carrie Hilson and JB Smoove would literally never happen in any lifetime ever, but it was funny for what it was. And
that dinner scene was iconic.
Yes, yeah, it was a great scene, yeah. But yeah, anyway, for anybody that hasn't seen it, I think it came out in like 2013 or 16 or whatever. Almost Christmas. It's a really good, fun Black Christmas movie for all out there. The other Christmas movie I saw is Dashing Through the Snow. Ludacris, Lil Rel Howery, Tiana Paris. This is streaming on Disney Plus. I saw literally no promo for this. I think this is one of those times where, yeah, it's brand new. Yeah, it came out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I follow Ludacris on Instagram. I did not see a single post about this, but we know how the algorithm works. So, excuse me, I'm sure he posted about it. But man, this is actually fun too, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this is a Disney Plus Christmas movie with Ludacris, Tiana Paris, and Oscar from The Office, and Lil Rel. Like, don't get me wrong. This movie's not going to win any Oscars, okay, or any awards, but it was actually like a fun watch. Ludacris plays a character that you really haven't really seen him play. which I thought was good. I'm not gonna say that he was like great in this movie because he wasn't, but it was like refreshing to see him be somebody other than fucking a super whiz with technology and Fast and Furious or a rapper. Lil Rel played Santa Claus, which I thought was hilarious. He was actually really funny throughout the entire movie. Tiana Paris was barely in it, but didn't care. They made Oscar from The Office the villain, which was hilarious to me. It seems like these Christmas movies have to have this formula where, you know, basically there's somebody who's down on Christmas. Santa comes to, or, you know, Santa or some Christmas themed entity comes to remind him that Christmas is real and Christmas is all about family. And then there's the bad guys who are trying to steal Christmas. Like, this doesn't detract from that, but it was still a very fun movie to watch. And I actually enjoyed it. I ended up giving this movie a C+, which typically C+ movies are just forgettable or whatever. But I actually really enjoyed this, man. I think we need more Black Christmas movies. We really do. Good ones anyway. But yeah, go ahead, Monty, with your reviews. I'm sure you have better things to discuss than these dumbass Christmas movies I watched.
So this nigga named 2 Black Christmas movies. Wow, I love that for you.
Yes, sir.
Well, now to some theatrical release movies, guys. The first one is Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Aren't you a fan of the Hunger Games, of the Jennifer Lawrence ones?
Not really.
Or no? Oh no, you're not. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, as a Hunger Games fan, I was not excited to watch this movie just based on the trailers alone, but I was interested enough in the lore outside of the trailer just to kind of see what was going on here. Basically, this follows a young Coriolanus Snow, who played by Donald Sutherland in the movies. Remember the old guy who's running the Hunger Games? Old white guy, really? He's like Katniss's main villain.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm
not a fan of Hunger Games. Sorry.
This is about him when he's younger and his rise to power, I guess. And I don't know, man. The OG Hunger Games was able to capture. Well, first of all, this movie split up into 3 parts, and the Hunger Games portion is really only the first half of the movie. The second half becomes something entirely different. It's not Hunger Games related at all. And in comparison to the original Hunger Games movies, those with Jennifer Lawrence did such a good job at capturing the anxiety and the fear, confusion somebody would feel being in that situation. It was an exciting time when those kids were out there killing each other. This movie just felt like a watered down version of that. None of the tributes were like memorable at all, and it just pales in comparison completely to the original Hunger Games, in my opinion. Ultimately, this movie felt like a very long road to an unsatisfying destination. It was like a 2-hour and 45-minute movie. But I did have somebody in my theater sitting right next to me, this little white girl, say, "Oh my God, that followed the book to a T." So I didn't read the book. So if you're a fan of the book, guys, you might have fun with it. But as someone who's just a fan of the movies, I did not have that much fun with it. But there are some good things to it. I gave it a C+. The next review is for Thanksgiving. This is the Thanksgiving horror movie by Eli Roth. Have you seen this movie?
No. If I saw it, I would have talked about it. I would have talked about it, Monty.
I'm going to say heard of it, of course.
Of course, I heard of it. This was the one that was just Halloween for Thanksgiving.
Correct. Apparently, this movie was like in like a movie. It was like a spoof in like a movie, and they actually turned it into a feature film, which is pretty cool. The first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, it feels like an SNL spoof horror skit, and I knew that I was in trouble because I feel like either you're going to love that tone, or you're going to be like, "Oh my God, what the fuck am I in for?" This movie was borderline bad. I mean, I wanted to have fun. I wanted to have fun with it at least. But guys, people are having fun with this movie. Like, my audience was totally into it. But as somebody who I've seen horror at its peak. It's just hard to appreciate something like this when I feel like I could have made this movie. Honestly, this has all the horror tropes, but I think it's done on purpose. Like, you got the teens, the small town, the themed killer, of course, but being the Thanksgiving guy. There's one dude in the group of teens who's like in the main cast. He kind of reminds me of Fridge off the Jumanji movies with Kevin Hart. This nigga is like clearly in his 30s, and he's supposed to be a teenager. And he's just big black dude. And I just laughed at him every time he was on the screen. He's such a bad actor. I laughed at all his line delivery. But
damn, what the hell did this nigga do to you?
I will say this though: the kills in this movie are really done really well. It's some really creative kills. Like, they feel like almost like Final Destination inspired, like how creative the kills are. And so there's some really good kills here, but the overall story, it was just too formulaic. I couldn't get into it. I feel like it's aware of itself. It knows it's kind of silly, but it just wasn't enough to really get me into it. I gave it a C- for Thanksgiving.
Damn. Okay.
Next review is for the new Taika Waititi movie, Next Goal Wins. Do you remember this trailer?
I do. This is the one with Michael Fassbender, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of Taika Waititi. I thought I was, at least. I mean, I loved Thor Ragnarok. I love
Jojo Rabbit. Don't forget Jojo Rabbit.
Literally one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time is Jojo Rabbit. But after Thor: Love and Thunder, I was hoping for a return to form for Taika, and this is not it. It's Taika Waititi's comedy has evolved to a point where it's just like either like almost slapsticky or like it's just so surface level that it's not even smart humor. I personally like smart humor in my movies. It's about, we've seen this formula for a sports movie before. A coach comes in, turns a shitty program around, and we've seen that formula. So I was just hoping that the camaraderie of this movie and the chemistry of the team would be enough to get me entertained throughout the entire time. But it's not bad, excuse me, but it's just okay. I do love seeing different cultures, on screen represented. However, like I had no idea that there was a place called America Samoa near Australia. That's pretty cool, with like a lot of Samoan indigenous people. It was cool to see their culture highlighted, but other than that, it didn't do much for me. I'm wondering if this nigga had like a Linsanity run regarding Taika Waititi. Is he done? But I ended up giving Next Goal Wins a C. Last review here, guys, is for Napoleon, the new Ridley Scott movie. Of course, you remember this trailer as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the famed conqueror of the world, Napoleon. I don't know why Ridley Scott does this thing where he makes these period piece movies where they're supposed to be in a different country, they're speaking English. That pissed me off. Like the Napoleon's like arguably one of the most famous French niggas of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But we have Joaquin Phoenix speaking English, and I had a very similar complaint with Prey, as you know, like when they aren't speaking indigenous. But at least with Prey, there's a version of that movie you can watch where they are speaking their indigenous tongue. With this movie, he did the same thing with Gladiator. He did the same thing with the Last Duel with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. He just doesn't care about accents. It kind of pisses me off. This is one of those movies where a lot of time passes over the course of Napoleon's life, and they do this weird thing where they don't choose to age Napoleon at all. Like he's supposed to be 20. Old ass Joaquin Phoenix supposed to be 20 at one point, and then and then by the end of the movie, I guess he's in his 40s or whatever. I don't know, but that kind of stuff pisses me off. And you would think this movie would be about like one of the greatest leaders and military strategists in the entire world, but no, it's really more so like a love story between him and his wife. Which, granted, I didn't know that his wife meant so much to him, which I learned in the movie. But I just don't understand the focus to take it off of one of the world's greatest conquerors of the world to not really shine a highlight on that. That's just such a weird thing to me, to make it a more so like a love story. However, the battle scenes in this movie are shot beautifully. Like this is just really Scott showing off that he's an experienced nigga. Like it's this one scene that takes place in like this icy tundra, which is just so amazing and breathtaking. With just a great battle sequence. Love that kind of shit. Wish it was more of it. But yeah, unfortunately, the tonality of this movie was just too weird, all over the place. It felt like a comedy at times. I wanted a serious movie about Napoleon, conquering the world in his mindset, So overall, I gave Napoleon a C+. Let's move on to some other news. Sebastian Stan has been cast as a young Donald Trump in the new movie about his life called The Apprentice. Can you see Sebastian Stan pulling off young Trump?
Sure, yeah. All you gotta do is give him a haircut, make him look a little weird, and yeah, he'll Sebastian Stan can do it for sure.
I can see it too. What are your thoughts on like this whole thing about him being Luke in the live action movie? Because they say he looks so close to Mark Hamill. I think he's kind of aging out of that. But do you want to see Sebastian Stan as Luke, prime Luke?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't really have a preference, honestly. And I'm actually, you know what? No, I don't want to fucking see it. I'm sick of the Skywalker saga. Give it a Luke. Give it a Vader. Let's move on to something bigger and better. Sorry.
I feel you on that, but prime Luke, come on, I gotta see at least one thing. It could be a series, it could be a movie. We got a taste of it with Mandalorian.
They gave you enough at the season 2 finale of Mando.
That taste had me salivating.
Wow.
Mark Cuban is leaving Shark Tank after 16 seasons. They also selling them damn Mavericks as well. But I don't watch Shark Tank, but I know there's a lot of fans who do watch Shark Tank. So, guys, your favorite judge or shark or whatever is leaving. You have any thoughts on this?
I mean, he put in his time. 17 seasons is a long fucking time. I'm not 60. Sure. Whatever. I feel like, the consensus on Twitter is that something's about to come out about him. and because
that's why he's selling the Mavs and everything.
Yeah, he still has like creative control, and he's still president of basketball operations for the Mavs. But as far as like the majority ownership of the team, he did sell for a lucrative sum, I might add. And yeah, he's not doing Shark Tank anymore. So I don't know. Maybe this is just him trying to move on and do something else with his life. Maybe not. We'll see.
Nigga been fucking Luka. This is something that's really big right here, guys. Melissa Barrera, of course, who is the star of the new Scream movies. She had a post on social media about basically her siding with the Palestinians and this whole Israel-Gaza thing. Mm-hmm. And she's actually been dropped from Scream 7, guys, for denouncing the genocide in Gaza. Her quote was, at the end of the day, I'd rather be excluded for who I include than to be included for who I exclude. This is huge news. I mean, she's like literally the star of like a huge horror franchise right now. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, this is crazy.
It sucks. Apparently they dropped her because they interpreted something she said as like something anti-Semitic, which is, harmful to Jewish people. So, I tried to find what exactly she said, but I couldn't find anything.
Couldn't find it. Same.
But I mean, that doesn't mean it's not out there. I mean, I didn't say no, I couldn't find it. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks for me as somebody who's loved, and I mean loved, these past 2 Scream films. And Jenna Ortega is not doing it either. So, yeah, I mean, they're not going to cancel the movie. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but they're not going to cancel it. It sounds like they're trying to bring back Sidney Prescott, but it's not going to be the same, unfortunately. I kind of feel bad for like the core 4 and like the rest of the actors involved, because they're kind of in like a shitty situation. Like, do they do the movie, or like do they try to stand on business and lose out on other deals for shit like this? I don't know. It's stupid. So, I don't know, man. This is very interesting. We'll see what happens with this situation.
Yeah, like you said, Jenna Ortega also not returning. Her rep says it has nothing to do with the firing of Melissa, and that this was discussed before the strike, which we did announce actually that she might be leaving Scream 7. But I think it's totally in relation to the Melissa thing. I don't care what the rep says. I think just after watching Jenna Ortega's interview, she seems very like strong-minded and like an ally to her coworkers or whatever. So I totally think that she did this out of support, I guess, for Melissa. And I don't think she even wanted to be in it that much anyway. But I was actually really interested to see what they were going to do with like Melissa's character in Scream 7, because they had this arc they were teasing where could she be evil like her father? And so I was really interested just as a fan to see where they would take that. And so the fact that we won't be able to get that anymore kind of sucks, to be honest. Yep. But Scream 7 is their new script is still in development, and they're targeting, like you said, bringing Nev Campbell back and Patrick Dempsey potentially. I don't know if I want to. As much as I love Nev Campbell, I guess I like the other storyline a little better, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Family Guy is leaving Sunday nights for the first time in 2 decades. It will now air new episodes on Wednesdays. All my Family Guys fans, it's coming on Wednesdays now.
Don't forget.
And last bit of news is in regards to Five Nights at Freddy's. This shit has been going crazy at the box office, apparently. It passes Split to become Blumhouse's highest grossing film of all time. And it's the highest grossing horror movie of the year. And of course, with that being said, part 2 is in the works, obviously. Mm-hmm. I did not see this success from Five Nights at Freddy's, but what are your thoughts on this? And do you plan to watch it?
They've got a ravenous fan base, man. There's a lot of people that aren't me and you that like were so excited to see this. I've seen like a lot of hype for this I've seen a lot of excitement about this on social media. So I can't even say it surprises me that it's doing so well. I mean, it's good to know that there's still fans of something else that's not fucking Star Wars or the MCU, and they're like, no, like we want a Five Nights at Freddy's. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all are getting y'all's thing, and hopefully you support the second part and whatever spinoff they do that's inevitably going to come now. Hopefully they support it, because they damn sure didn't support Blue fucking Beetle or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So yeah.
You never answered my question. It's on Peacock. Do you plan on watching it at least just to see what the hype is about?
No, I don't care.
Really?
Hype doesn't interest me. I'm sorry.
Okay, fucking hipster. My theory as to why this movie is doing so good is because, like I said, at my screening it was full of kids, and I think I was mad that it wasn't a rated R rating. I thought it would have helped the movie, but that PG-13 rating is helping a lot of these kids who want to see the show. I mean, this movie, in the theaters. So when you have the audiences of kids that want to see it and adults, it's just like a complete recipe for success, And so I think that's why it's doing so good, because everybody of all ages can see this movie. And like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I'll definitely be checking for a part 2. It was really good seeing Josh Hutcherson back. And so, yeah, we got a franchise on our hands.
Shout out to Five Nights at Freddy's. Wow. Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
Well, last thing, horror movies are not fair, bro. Like, they can have a budget of like under $10 million and just get a crazy ROI every time. It happens every year. It's just one surprise or a couple surprise horror movies that just come out and just kill at the box office because they're made for shit, and they just make all this fucking money because everybody just loves horror.
You can say the same thing about Get Out.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, you're right. You can.
You can. Anyway, guys, that wraps it up. Julian, do you have any other thoughts?
No, sir. Great pod, Monty. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Watch Blue Eye Samurai and Scott Pilgrim, bitch.
Blue Eye Samurai, sure.